I'm from the UK. I'm from London and I live in Sheffield.
We moved here to Georgia, and I've been in Georgia now for, oh my gosh, about 21 years.
I'm in Merrickville, Ontario, so between Ottawa and Brockville, kind of.
I'm Belgium.
So I am a therapist and grief counselor, and I work for a cancer charity, for a local hospice, and in private practice. And I would say that I now use Nidra or some of the Yoga Nidra tools with probably 80% of my clients, because most people who come to me are in a very anxious and stressed state. So just helping them find some peace, stabilizing them, allows me to then work with them to help address the issues. But really, that for some people, actually Nidra is actually all they need, because that allows them to connect to that sense of peace and rediscover a balance within sort of the layers of their being.
I do trauma work all day long. I mean, I just got off the call before here. So, and I've a very bottom-up approach. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with Besser van der Kolk's kind of bottom-up stuff. So I'm always starting with breath work and meditation, and it's good that I can refer them to videos like yours online. And it has benefited my clients dramatically. So it's part of a continuum of intervention. So it's not the only thing that's going to make people, but look, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So I'm able to give a menu. One of my biggest frustrations or challenges as a therapist is we don't have enough tools. And that's what drew me to, you know, other trainings, but that's what drew me to really doing deep in this, is I need a tool that I can share with clients, and I need more tools. We need more tools that are accessible. And that's why I think about Yoga Nidra is it's the most accessible. When it's self-guided, people quickly get frustrated and are done.
My favorite part of the training was really learning about each kosha in depth. As a psychotherapist, my favorite was learning about creating your inner refuge. And then, of course, the Manomaya kosha, learning about how to do the thought download. And I do love sensing of the opposites, because that is something that we live into as a psychotherapist, and helping clients to be aware of what they're feeling and not push it down, but then being able to teach them how to experience the opposite feelings, the positive feelings. Those are the things that come to my mind immediately, although I loved everything about the training program.
That's a hard one. The first thing that comes to mind is the samskaras, the working with the thought patterns. I find so much that just fits into my therapeutic guidance and my therapeutic work. And the idea of being able to flow between the opposites, it's just so amazing. And even if it's not yet working with the opposite emotions, I find that with so many of my clients, that just working with the opposite sensations already has an impact, because they sense like, okay, I can be and sense both at the same time. So it's the flow and yeah, the movement that's been created that's so powerful.
I find often with clients who maybe have never experienced Nidra or find it really hard to relax, maybe they're in a very anxious or stressed state, will often come out of Nidra and say, what just happened? I know recently someone said to me, I don't think I've ever felt as relaxed as this in my whole life. That through, I had a client who was having 5 or more panic attacks a day, and teaching her a simple relaxation, the rotation of consciousness body scan, and then a very simple breathing technique, and suggesting that she practice it twice a day. She came back 2 weeks later and said, I don't know what you did, but I've not had a panic attack. And she said, but I always have panic attacks. And she said, well, I sort of had one, but then I remembered to do the breathing and it went away and I don't understand why. And I said, well, what have you done? And she said, well, I did the breathing and that relaxation every morning and every evening. And sometimes I did a little bit at lunchtime. And I said, well, that's what you did, because you've practiced and you've then retrained your nervous system. So I think it is astonishing, and I hear more and more from clients the changes that it empowers them to make for themselves.
And I do a Nidra program every Friday at the library, and I've done it in our yoga therapy PTSD group. I've done it in our men's connection group, and there's a food connections group I do it at. So all of a sudden I become this Yoga Nidra go-to guy in our community. And I'm not like, I don't have this yoga, I'm not a yoga person, if you know what I mean, but I see a value in it. So for me, like I take away a lot of the science stuff you talked about. I'm sometimes pragmatic to a fault, but anything that's that pragmatic, like all the electrical field of the heart, and you know, how the limbic system is impacted and all that stuff, any of that stuff really speaks to me. But it also, I can sell it really good to people, you know. That's the thing that really helps. Yeah, so anything around that I would really kind of draw me in and draw my clients in.
Well, I think just in general, the course is amazing, obviously. But as a psychotherapist, what resonated with me the most is monomyokosha, because that in general is where psychotherapists live. That's where we live. No matter if you're a holistic practitioner or not, it's just kind of described in a different way. And so when I came to learn about the download and saw it, and I'm like, okay, this is really related to CBT and the cognitive model, because you also have to realize that I have to introduce it in a way, because all my clients are from different spiritual backgrounds, different cultures, and I always have to be culturally sensitive and phrase things in an appropriate way. But the cognitive model is that we do start with the thought download, we start with the situation. The difference is that we don't necessarily say that it has to be a fact. Okay? I started to say that because of this course, though. I integrated that because of the course. So you dissect it and you pull it out, and then you put it in that appropriate category. Same thing as kind of the cognitive model. This piece of it in monomyokosha is breaking it down a little further, which I feel, especially with specific clients, that could actually really engulf themselves in it. I feel is kind of like a higher, deeper level of cognitive. And so how I've already integrated it, and I've already done it with several clients already since because it was easy for me to integrate it because I lived there. And so now I have shared with my clients, and I have to tell you, Allie, I have got 2 emails, and one of the emails said, the heading was, I'm healing. I'm like, and I read the entire email, and oh my goodness, it just it was like, oh my God, this is working. This is really working for clients. So I have to say, out of the entire, outside of the inner refuge, that's my biggest takeaway, because this validated what I'm already doing. This validated, and it had that science behind it to be like, oh my God, this is another level, like another step that I could teach my clients. And it's beneficial, because when you write in your journal, you're processing at the same time, right? So with the cognitive model, that wasn't happening. I'm helping them process, but this is also allowing them to also in turn process on their own as well, allowing them to have their own aha moments, even though I'm helping them and guiding them, but they're doing the work on their own as well, which shows extreme value. And when they're identifying that value with themselves, and that's where the true healing begins.
What I also so love about the entire training is the live Zoom calls. It's so powerful to have this community. It's just so amazing that it's online, but you do have the interaction, and you do have the group, and there's the support, and yeah, that's just such an amazing energy, and such uplifting, which keeps you going, and which helps you get through it all. Yeah.
My favorite thing about the Yoga Nidra training online was, I think, really understanding what Yoga Nidra is. So having experienced it, it's sort of so effortless when you're guided by an expert, that when you then understand all of the layers and the process that goes into it, you understand what an art it is. And I really loved learning that.
Oh, I think the flexibility, I think, was the best thing for me. I mean, I'm familiar with the platform. I just finished some other training with that same platform, so that was an easy kind of transition over.
And so, well, as I'm teaching it to my clients, two in particular right now that did the thought download, email me saying how much they're healing. And that's because of what I learned in this course and how I integrated it with what I know now to teach those clients. And I'm having positive feedback about it. So yes, I'm having significant positive results with my clients. And not only that, Allie, honestly, I'm having positive results with myself.
I think the main benefit that I've noticed is a greater connection to my body and to my innate wisdom. And I feel that I'm in more closer sort of dialogue with my body, with my mind. And where there are issues, through Nidra, I can sort of talk to myself on that sort of metaphysical level and maybe understand better what's going on.
It certainly calmed me. My wife thinks it's the best thing I'm doing. Like, are you going to meditate at lunch? You should, like, she really encourages me to do it. I have my children doing it, like certainly my younger child. We do it when he's having trouble sleeping. We do all that stuff. So it's in terms of quality of life. I do it every day at lunch. I'm a lunch meditator, and it's kind of like having 2 days. There's my morning, and then I've had this rest, and then I start again and I finish my day.
I would absolutely recommend this training to them. I would tell them if they had even engaged in one Yoga Nidra practice and they enjoyed it, I would say, well, don't you want more? I would say, if you have any doubt in your mind, don't have any doubt in your mind. Why would you not want to experience full transformation? Why would you not want to learn how to rest your mind and your body and your spirit? Why wouldn't you want to experience a chance to have and feel joy and happiness? Why would you not want to engage in an overtime practice that could help with your pain, with your inner self-worth, with getting out of your mind, getting rid of that noise, teaching yourself how to be able to regulate emotions? Why would you not want to do these things? It's the most beneficial thing that you could ever do. And I would definitely tell them that it's worth it. It's very transformative, but you have to be open-minded and you have to love yourself enough to give yourself permission to do that and to be patient with yourself. And even as a psychotherapist, I always tell my clients that these are things that you experience over time. You don't go to the gym and expect six-pack abs in 2 days, right? It's a practice, but you can experience something within your first practice, for sure.
I've already recommended the training to so many people. So yes, I would recommend it. Yeah, just because I think it's much more than a training. It's intense for your own personal growth as well. I had an intense week and I was like, this isn't going to work. So I doubled my own Yoga Nidras that I did. So for the last week, I've been doing 2 to 3 Yoga Nidras a day, and it's just so helpful. So it's like this enormous resource that you get for yourself. And I think I wouldn't have got that if I would just have been practicing Yoga Nidra for myself. So it's just because I was in this training that I got to get in there really deeply the effects of doing the practice and doing daily practice and even more than that. Plus, there's so much information and it's such a rich training and yeah, the entire program is so rich and so beautiful that, yeah, I just love it. Yeah.
I would absolutely recommend this training. I would recommend it for sort of personal development and growth, because the difference between just listening and to a nidra, yes, that's profound, but learning to guide the nidra and understand it and go deeper will change how you listen and the experience you get. But also it's such a gift, whether you just use this for yourself or for your family, or you use it professionally. It's such a gift to the world to be able to bring people a connection to sort of peace and love and harmony, and to allow them to discover that balanced unity for themselves.
I would totally recommend it. And I'm a very passionate talker when I believe in something so deeply. And well, the people around in my circle anyway, they typically listen to me because they know anything that I'm recommending comes from my heart, because they know me. They know me, and they know I would never steer somebody to doing something that wasn't worth doing, you know? And even in regular life with family and friends, when you experience specific transformations for yourself, you don't even have to say anything. They're going to say, oh, well, Marlo practices Yoga Nidra, because they see it.